Hey guys, it's Mike here, and today I'm bringing you another video about Dragon Ball Z, in which we're going to be talking about something that people have asked for a very long time now and has been on people's minds ever since this transpired in the series. And that is, when did Vegeta first become a Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z? Now there's a lot of stuff to talk about with regards to this topic, and there's a lot of conflicting information, so without further ado, let's get started. Now as we know, the first time that we ever see Vegeta turn into a Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z is during the conflict in the fight against Android 19 and Android 20, also known as Dr. Gero. But obviously we know that this is not the first time that Vegeta turned into a Super Saiyan, so it must have come somewhere before this point in time. And as we know, prior to the 3-year gap after Goku returned after Trunks killed King Cold and Frieza, Vegeta was not a Super Saiyan at that point, or else he would have simply turned into a Super Saiyan once they arrived. And finally, we know that Vegeta was training in the 3-year gap before the androids came, so it's most likely that he turned into a Super Saiyan during that point in time. And this is basically stated in the series. Now most people who watch this will say, wait a second, we've already seen the moment when Vegeta turned into a Super Saiyan as was depicted during his fight against Android 19, after he turned into a Super Saiyan in the Dragon Ball Z anime during a flashback. Now whereas this is true whereas the anime is concerned, whereas the manga is concerned, this transformation is never actually shown. And in fact, the depiction of several different things that happen in the anime is not the same as is depicted in the manga. In fact, several of these instances do not actually happen. For example, when everyone learns that Goku is still alive and off in space training, when they try and bring him back to life or summon him to Earth by Purunga, in the anime, Vegeta immediately gets within a spaceship from Capsule Corp and goes off into space trying to find him. But in the manga, this never actually happens. In fact, nothing implies up until the point that Goku arrives on Earth that Vegeta ever left the planet, and by this time it had been nearly 2 years since Goku fought Frieza on Namek. It is also after this point in time that Vegeta asked Dr. Briefs to build him a gravity chamber so that he can train in, as Dr. Briefs was the one who designed the original gravity chamber that Goku trained in his ship on the way to Namek. However, in this case, Vegeta asked for it to be 3 times stronger than Goku's. And then the last time we end up seeing Vegeta is him training in that gravity chamber before the 3-year time skip, saying that he will surpass Super Saiyan. So considering the next time that we see Vegeta in the series is the time when he first transforms into a Super Saiyan in front of the androids, this leaves us wondering when exactly during that 3-year time skip Vegeta transformed for the first time. Now for one, unlike Goku, Vegeta had seen Goku as a Super Saiyan and realized his power before he started to train. This gave Vegeta a sort of advantage in knowing exactly what to look for when it comes to training what kind of power that Goku would be at. However, Vegeta also started out at a disadvantage because the fact that not only was his base not as strong as Goku's before he started to train, but he also had to unlock the Super Saiyan transformation and master it to the degree that Goku had. And this is of course likely why Vegeta asked for the 300 times gravity chamber in the first place. And speaking of mastering it to the degree that Goku had, when we actually see Vegeta transform against the androids and fight against them, it seems like he's able to do it completely at will at this point in time and can seemingly control it just as well as Goku can. And this point is important to bring up because of what Goku first told Trunks after he arrived on Earth and Trunks had killed King Cold and Frieza. Before their slight skirmish, Trunks asked Goku if he could transform into a Super Saiyan at will. Goku said he could, however he said that originally he wasn't able to, and after a lot of practice he eventually became able to do so. Now of course, as we know, Goku was on Yardrat the entire time that he was away from the Earth, and during that period of time he was training. Now from what we can gather from what Goku has said, it seems like the entire training was taken up by 2 different things that he was trying to learn. Now the first would be the only technique that he actually learned from the people from Yardrat, and that would be the instantaneous movement or teleportation technique. Now when Goku describes learning this, he states that there wasn't really enough time for him to actually learn anything else other than that. And this could potentially tie into the second thing that Goku was trained to learn on Yardrat, and that would be being able to tap into the Super Saiyan transformation and maintain it on his own through his own will. Now, whereas you can say that Goku took a very long time to learn the instant transmission technique, which makes a lot of sense considering the fact that it's a very different and interesting technique, and it's unlike anything else that he's ever utilized in the past, it's also entirely possible that he initially focused on just trying to be able to tap into that that Super Saiyan transformation first. And while it is entirely possible that Goku is learning to do both simultaneously rather than one after the other, the fact of the matter is it seems that both of these things took up his entire time on Yardrat, which is almost 2 years in length. So if we apply this to Vegeta's training during the 3-year gap in order to try and attain the Super Saiyan transformation and then master it to the degree that Goku did, and then to surpass him training with Piccolo and Gohan as a Super Saiyan, I think it would make sense to suggest that Vegeta attained the Super Saiyan transformation somewhere towards the middle of the 3-year gap, as this would give him enough time to be able to tap into it at will and master it to the degree that Goku had by the time that the androids show up, as well as to additionally surpass Super Saiyan Goku, who was also training for that 3-year gap himself. And considering that Vegeta said that he attained Super Saiyan after he reached his limit and attained it out of a rage he felt towards himself, I think it only makes sense for Vegeta to have attained it at this point in time, especially considering how hard he trains. And for a last bit of information, there has been a fan theory that's gone around for a very long period of time that the reason why Trunks and Goten were able to attain Super Saiyan at such a young age is because Goku and Vegeta were Super Saiyans when they were conceived. And if this is correct, this would only be able to have happened if Vegeta attained it somewhere towards the middle of that gap. And this idea does kind of make sense because the fact that Vegeta likely would have been focused solely on attaining Super Saiyan up until the point where he actually did it. So it is sort of unlikely that he would have enough time to spend with Bulma before he achieves Super Saiyan to actually conceive Trunks. So in conclusion, I think it makes sense to conclude that Vegeta achieved Super Saiyan during the middle of the 3-year gap, considering all the information that we have been presented with thus far. But in the end, it's just sort of an educated guess. Well, my name is Mike, and this has been another video that I'm bringing you on Dragon Ball Z. Tell me your own thoughts down below. Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Also, when do you think that Vegeta first attained Super Saiyan? Let me know down below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share this video with your friends so we can make more like this in the future, and subscribe. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
You better subscribe!